TV. This is your 8 to go video. I've done one of these before the international break. It was on the back of the Birmingham post-match analysis. I didn't have time to get it in its own video that week. There's plenty going on. And as I said, it went on the back of the Birmingham post-match. However, we are nearly through the other side of this terrible international break. And we are back in action on Friday at the Den against West Bromwich Albion. So we've got time to look at the 8 games to go. Someone piped up on Instagram earlier saying, you've used the wrong teams in the thumbnail. This is not a video about who we have left. Okay, this is about the teams in and around us. They're all in that thumbnail, other than Rotherham, who are pretty much gone, and Plymouth, because I couldn't get any more badges on the thumbnail. So it's all the teams that are competing to stay in the league. We're going to look at who they've got, who they're playing, give some predictions for that, and the current league table. But before that, we're going to wind it back to last week and check out I've got in my predictions in 9 to go. Okay, so not a bad week at all, really. I didn't factor in, it was all new to me, give me a break. I didn't factor in the Birmingham versus Middlesbrough game. That was, I think, on Monday. I didn't put that one in the predictions. I also didn't put in our game against Leeds because it went out before the Leeds preview, which would have shit all over that video. So today, of course, I won't be doing the same again. I won't be giving a prediction for us. I'll be doing that, well, tomorrow for YouTube members, and it will be publicly live on YouTube on Wednesday. Of course, as I've already said, it is a 1 p.m. kickoff at the Den on Good Friday against West Bromwich Albion. Let's take a look how I got on in last week's predictions. Okay, so that's how I did it, and I probably shouldn't have done it like that because it's almost impossible to predict scorelines. So I'm going to change it slightly, and we're going to do it like this going forward. Win, home, draw, or away win. That's how we're going to do it. So H for home win, D for draw, and A for an away win. I actually got 7 out of 10 right last week. So in terms of how it would have looked, let's take a look. So yeah, looking at it there, as we know now, Leeds 2, Millwall 0. I did predict a 3-1 win for Leeds. So I got that right, unfortunately, but just not the scoreline. This one I got wrong. Swansea 2, Cardiff 0. It finished. I had that down as a draw. I also got this one wrong because I said Birmingham were going to beat Watford, and luckily for us, they didn't. And Watford got their first win under Tom Cleverley. Then from then on in, it's not bad at all. I think Ipswich, I had as a 3-0 win. They won something like 6-0. Middlesbrough v Blackburn, I had as a 2-2 draw. But however, I was right, it was a draw. I also had Preston to win away at Plymouth. I had Rotherham and Huddersfield to be a draw, which it was. I had Norwich to win away at Stoke, which they did, but I didn't have it as emphatic as it actually was. Sunderland, this was the one I got wrong. Sunderland drew 0-0 with QPR, and I had that one down as a Sunderland win. And finally, West Brom did beat Bristol City. I think I had that down as a 1-0 and it was 2-0. So not bad at all. 7 out of 10. And if you watched it, it might be worth picking 3 or 4 out, which I actually did in an accumulator. And Birmingham ruined that for me. But definitely worth a look. I feel I'm not promoting gambling at all. If you do gamble, always gamble responsibly. And of course, you need to be over the age of 18 years old. I always find that this part of the season now, start of the season, anything can sort of happen. But this end of the season, I think, I'm looking at the fixtures, which we're going to look at in a minute. I think it's quite predictable, and I'm hoping it'll go the way that I say it will as well, because some big games for us that we're not involved in where we can rely on others to drop points. Well, someone's definitely going to drop points. The QPR versus Birmingham game, of course, where Gary Rowett is now back as interim manager until the end of the season for the Blues in the absence of Tony Mowbray. But before we get into this week's fixtures and this week's predictions, let's take a look at the current league table. And there you have it. We currently sit 16th in the division. But as we know, we always say it is incredibly tight. It just shows how competitive this division is. We are only 4 points above Huddersfield. However, with that goal difference of better than 5 than theirs is, I do feel that will sort of accumulate to an extra point if it does come down to the wire. We do, of course, have to face Huddersfield next weekend after this bank holiday weekend, of course. And then looking up, I mean, we're not a million miles off. Clawing back in Sunderland, Watford, Bristol City, who aren't in the best of form themselves. But I'm only looking down at the minute, and I'm a bit of a weirdo, as we know, but I only like to look. I'm not really fussed with anything that's going on Friday. All I'll be looking at is Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday. As we know, Rotherham aren't yet mathematically gone, I don't think. I don't know how. but that they're gone. They're 19 points behind Birmingham. QPR, as I said, do play Birmingham on Saturday in the division, but I'll be focusing mainly on Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday. And if either of those drop points, I think we could be all right against West Brom. I'm not going to shit on the preview, like I said, but I think we'll definitely get something on the board. Let's take a look at this weekend's fixtures. So here we go then, 12 games. I'll only be predicting 11, so you can write us off and you can watch the preview, as I said, tomorrow if you remember, or on Wednesday at 8 PM on YouTube. Bristol City against Leicester is not really a focus for us. Okay, I said we can catch Bristol City, but that's not going to be our main aim by the end of the season. It's getting safe, and I think they'll get beat anyway at home to Leicester, who are now, of course, not top of the table after missing league action last weekend. Cardiff versus Sunderland, I think that's got draw written all over it. Huddersfield v Coventry is a big one for us. Unfortunately, Coventry are 8th, I think, 9th pressing for the playoffs, but I just got a feeling Huddersfield might nick a point at home to the Sky Blues. Hull against Stoke, yes please Hull. I think they'll get the job done against Stoke. Norwich against Plymouth, likewise Norwich had a really bad run, didn't they, at one point? They was all calling for the manager out, but he's turned it round, and now they are breathing down the necks of the top 6. So I'm back in Norwich to get a win at home against Plymouth. Preston against Rotherham, that's an absolute banker. QPR against Birmingham. I'm going to cut away there from the fixtures just for a second because, of course, Gary Rowett, as I already mentioned, went back to Birmingham as interim manager. And, of course, when we played Birmingham with Rowett as our manager, all their fans were chanting, Gary Rowett, your football is shit. But he's gone back in as an ex-player of the club, and he actually did all right for them when he was their manager. And my mate said, "Oh, that's great for them. That's great for them. They're gonna, he'll get them out of trouble." I'm not sure he will. They're losing lots of games. They lost to Southampton by the odd goal, though there was lots of goals in that game, 4-3. They lost to us 1-0. They lost to Middlesbrough 1-0, and I think they lost another game 1-0 as well. So Rowett will get them organised, and he'll keep them compact, but they're not conceding the Southampton game aside. Loads of goals anyway. What they need is wins. They need to go and get some points on the ball and get some wins. And I'm not sure Rowett's really the man to do that. I could be wrong. I hope I'm not, of course, because they're down at the business end of things with us. But Gary Rowett, good appointment or not for Birmingham? Let me know in the comments what you think. Back to the fixtures. Sheffield Wednesday against Swansea. This is one that I thought Swansea played well the other day against Cardiff, and they needed that win. A big boost for them, especially team morale and crowd, the way they won it right to death. If you haven't seen it already, go and have a look at Jamal Lowe's injury time second goal. Absolutely seems at the Liberty Stadium. But I think Sheffield Wednesday might get the job done here, unfortunately. I'm going for a Sheffield Wednesday win. I hope I'm wrong. Lots of home wins in there. Take note of that. If you do fancy a little punt. Southampton versus Middlesbrough. Yeah, it's going to be a Southampton win. They need to keep the pressure on the top 3. Blackburn versus Ipswich. I expect that to be a very good game. It is the 5:30 kickoff, and we should be home from the den, if you're not going out afterwards, to watch that one. Blackburn fans say a lot. My mate plays for Blackburn. They do, he says it as well, they do really well against the good sides, but not so good against the not so good sides. But Ipswich flying high, breathing down the necks of the top 2. I think it'll be a difficult game for Ipswich. However, I do think Ipswich have got enough to get something on the board. So I'm going for a Blackburn versus Ipswich draw. And finally, Watford versus Leeds is the 8 o'clock kickoff. Again, as I said earlier, with other teams around Watford and Swansea, Sunderland, it absolutely makes no difference to us how Watford get on, really. Although I said we can catch them. I don't care if we don't catch them. I don't care if we finish 21st in the division, as long as we don't get relegated. I don't think we'll finish 21st, by the way. I think we'll be safe long before the final sort of 3-4 games, I'm hoping anyway. But I'm going to go for a dirty Leeds away win on that one. Their train is definitely steamrolling back towards the Premier League. So, yeah, I think they'll get the 3 points on that one. So let's have a little quick review of what I've gone for. And yeah, there you go. That's my predictions for this week. Let me know how many you think I'm going to get right. Maybe I should do something with the members, a little giveaway. Yeah, fuck it, I'll do that, right? Let me know in the comments if you remember, okay? Put how many you think I'm going to get right out of 10. And whoever gets it right, or a few you get it right, I'll pick a name at random and we'll do a little giveaway. We'll give away there's bits around me. I'm going to get that back wall sorted as well. Hopefully, new camera today, you might notice. Sound should have improved. And we're going to get it all wired up and ready for a big sale for the Euros. But that's looking into the distance. We need to make sure we secure our championship survival for now. And as I said, I'll be back tomorrow for the members for a preview for West Brom on Good Friday. It will be released publicly on YouTube on Wednesday, and I'll be live streaming direct from SE16 for a 1 p.m. kickoff on Good Friday. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.